The steak I want to talk to you about today is a Cote de Boeuf, or a ribeye on the bone. Okay, so I got this product actually delivered to me frozen, and I stuck it in the fridge last night. I took it out of the fridge today, and about an hour ago, and I've let it come up to room temperature, so it's totally defrosted. I'm just going to open the bag and take the steak out. And this is a sharing steak for two people, and it's probably my favourite steak to have, really. And the reason why I like it is because it has the right amount of fat for me to keep it nice and juicy. Okay, so as you can see, there's a big piece of fat in the middle, but that will caramelise, and there's some beautiful marbling going on here. So I'm going to cook this steak from start to finish on a griddle pan. Okay, we didn't have a griddle pan, just a heavy based pan, and do the job perfectly. So I'm just going to oil my steak up and season it with some sea salt on both sides, and then I'll season it with plenty of pepper at the end, and I'm actually going to serve it with a little bit of grilled lemon and lots of black pepper. This is just how I like to eat it. Okay, so what I want to say to you is now, just be careful, this pan is really hot. I very gently oiled this griddle pan first, and then because of the ribeye and the fat that's in there, it's going to generate a lot of its own fat. Okay, so you just gently place it onto the griddle pan, and that sear is what we want to hear. I'm going to hurry that up a little bit, and now I'm going to cook this on this griddle pan for about 12 to 15 minutes maybe. And notice now I don't keep pushing the steak because I want it to caramelise. So I put it on there, it's on a medium to high heat, and now we're just going to roast that steak on that griddle pan for the next 10 to 12 minutes. Now this steak has had about 2 or 3 minutes, I haven't touched it yet, so what I want to do next is that I want to turn the steak. So I'm just going to show you. Look at that wonderful caramelisation. I'm just going to turn it over now, and I'm going to continue to roast that steak in that hot pan to get more of that caramelisation on the other side. So now this steak has had 2 minutes on the other side, 2 to 3 minutes. And what I want to do now is just sear off the edges of the steak. So carefully I'm lifting it up. And I have it up on its side now. And I'm just going to sear off the sides of this steak now. And then I'm going to put it back down onto the flat of the steak and cook it for another 5 or 6 minutes until I reach the desired temperature. Now as you can see, this steak has had a really good sear on both sides, and I've actually cooked the steak now. Okay, so it's cooked for me now, perfect. It's had about 12 or 13 minutes maybe on that griddle pan. So what I just want to do is, I have a little rack sitting on top of a plate. So in that pan now, I'm going to just cut this lemon in half, and I'm going to sit that into the griddle pan, and we're going to serve that grilled lemon with our steak. So at this point, what I want to do with the beef is I want to give it a pepper crust. So I'm generously now, as you can see, seasoning this beef with pepper on this side. I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to give it a good season on the other side. I'll turn it back. And now I'm going to leave that steak to rest for a good 10 minutes before I attempt to carve it. Okay, so we'll just leave it sitting there. It's a fairly big piece of meat, so you don't have to worry about it going cold. Okay, so we leave it for 10 minutes to rest. Now, my ribeye, or my Cote de Boeuf, has had a good 10 minutes to rest and relax. Okay, and I can actually see how tender that steak is going to be. So I'm just going to take it off the bone. I'll put the bone there beside those roasted lemons, and then I'm just going to carve the steak. So I have a nice sharp knife there, as you can see. Now I cook this steak medium rare. If you like it not medium rare, obviously cook it a little bit more. But no matter what way you cook your steak, it's very, very important that you let it rest, okay? So I'm going to put that onto the plate and spread it out a little bit so you can see the meat. And now at this point, I'm just going to season it with a little bit more sea salt and another good twist of pepper. And I'm not serving a sauce with this, so as I said, I've the roasted lemon and my char grilled Cote de Boeuf, and this for me is the perfect way to cook this steak.